What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, so I'm here on Peak Monsters looking at the 6-month, and that is unfortunately as far back as we can go, but the reason I'm doing this is because I wanted to take a look at where the player base is at for one specific reason. I want to talk about how many packs we can expect for Rebellion. Now, this is all speculation. I have no idea what they are going to do. I have repeatedly said that I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if they did less than the amount for Chaos Legion, which is 15 million right now. Here's the thing, though. They have introduced this concept called fatigue rounds, and they have implemented it somewhat for both tower defense as well as GLG, meaning that there is an increase in the price of packs over time from the main store, and those and so they'll be limited both in quantity as well as time, and that price will be increasing over time. So we're going to look at this rudimentally and then kind of factor that in at the end. When we go back more than 6 months, more than 12 months at this point, so maybe October of 2021, maybe we're looking like the 13 to 15 month range here, when the team was deciding how many packs to put into Chaos Legion. And actually, that's incorrect. It really was 15 months because they launched it in September or October of 2021. The player base boomed, it skyrocketed, and I think we saw 500,000 daily active users for a long time after even Chaos Legion came out, and right before the Ranked Rewards update. Now, the Ranked Rewards update happened in May of 2022, and that caused a major drop-off in a lot of the bot farms that were just leeching on the starter cards, because you can no longer earn using only starter cards. So a lot of the bots started to consolidate their accounts, started to buy Chaos Legion cards, have the minimum, and then we've obviously seen an evolution from there where we see maybe a lot more high-level bots, for example, now. But the point is, how many actual daily active players or real players are there in the game? I think that's hard to tell from where we're at right now, but we all know if the daily average over the past 6 months is 177,000. And actually, I think let's look at the last 3 months. Last 3 months is 176. That's right on point. And the last month, 181. I think we can all safely say that we know there are a lot of bot farm accounts, as well as alt accounts that might be running an automated scholar like Archmage or Splintermate or Xbot. So with that being said, let's just look at the raw numbers right now. The team decided 15 million packs was a good amount for the 500,000 daily active players. Now, you can choose to believe whether that is right or wrong. Had we actually had 15 million real players at the time, would we have eaten through packs? I think an argument can be made. If we had even half in real players, right, 250 million or 250,000 or 500,000 or 250,000, would we have been able to do that? Probably. But if you just take where we are at right now, including all the bot accounts, secondary accounts, how many packs, and I'm putting this question out to the community, how many packs do you think that we should go for with something like Rebellion? Now, again, I said I wanted to keep it super rudimentary. So if we are at roughly, we'll just say 40% of where the height was, right? When the FOMO, euphoria, all this stuff was happening 15 months ago. They did 15 million packs for 500,000 players. Let's say we're 200,000 daily active players. We're not, clearly, right? We know it's not 200,000 individual unique players. Well, 40% means that we would only get 6 million Rebellion packs. That doesn't sound like nearly enough. But then the question becomes, well, 6 million priced, we'll just say, similarly or equivalent to Chaos Legion. One of the detriments of bringing that down quite a bit is that the team considers it revenue, right? That's actually their main source of revenue. So having packs in the store and wanting to have packs in the store for a while, 6 million seems like a little too much. And you have to think about where the player base was at. We bought through I think it was like 6 million, maybe close to 7 million within that first month after the general sale went live. Sorry, you include the pre-sale all the way through the first month of the general sale. I mean, we got through quite a bit of Chaos Legion packs. I think we hit 7 million pretty early on. So the question then becomes, well, 6 million seems too small. I mean, it seems like obnoxiously small, right? So if we don't do 6 million, and the hard part with this too is the fact that, like, okay, well, we're assuming 40% of the player base. So if we do 40% of the packs, but we know that there's not even 200,000 real players in the game right now. It's probably even less than that. And we've lost a lot with the bear market that was 2022 going into this recession that we're probably going to head into. So where does the team go from here? Okay. 6 million is the most rudimentary number that we can get just based on the raw data that we have right now. But we do know that there are a lot of bot accounts, and that may not be something that the team was fully aware of at the time last year, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. So if that's the case, we would actually need to bring that number lower. And I think 6 million is already absurdly low with the player base at the level that it's at. So do we go higher? And do we have a reason or kind of a benefit for going higher? Okay, benefit number one, team sees it as revenue. This is something that I'm sure they'll want to do, especially if the appetite is there for more packs. Again, I think 6 million is too little, so we go up. Now, how does the team mitigate this overproduction of packs? Well, this is what we called with the time gating as well. So let's say it does come out in July of this year, right? So it's right at the start of Q3. And they do stick with that kind of 9-month release plan, or having packs available for 9 months and then having like a 3-ish month period off. Well, then that would mean that there would be probably fatigue rounds similar to what we saw or what we are currently seeing with Chaos Agent. I don't know how long it's going to look. I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 4 months like it is now for Chaos Legion. I think Chaos Legion was an exception. Now, if that is the case, I wonder, and I wonder if I would still think that 15 million might be the number. Now, again, I've been saying that, but looking at the raw numbers, it almost makes sense to reduce it at least somewhat. Now, what are the optics of that? We have to think about this from a marketing perspective too. Is this something that might hurt the game in any way, where, you know, if the team, it's almost like an admission of, well, we printed too many, so we're gonna tone it down. It's a bear market, blah blah blah. Sure, but I feel like the team already doesn't care about the optics, and not in a like bad way, but in a way where they're responding to the community and listening to the community and saying, okay, well, we printed too many. These numbers were formed in a bull market where, you know, money was flowing like crazy and there's a lot of liquidity out there. And 50 million ended up being too much. So we're starting to burn some, and we're going to burn, I think we'll hit 1 million soon. So if that's the case, then maybe 15 million is too high. Here is the flip side of that though. If they decide to go lower, that signals two things to the community. One, it to me, this could be a win-win, right? So let's say they go with 10 million or 12 million. All of the people who have just been riding and railing against Aggie and the team, saying like they printed too many packs, blah, 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 they get to be like, we were right. And sure, does that suck to have to admit it? And, you know, sure. But you might win some of those people back because, like I said, this is almost like an outreach to the community and saying, yeah, you know what? You were right. We printed too many. We understand we did that in a bull run, so we're scaling it back. What this does for the people who are not railing against the team, but actually love the game, it makes them say, oh, well, these cards in this set just became much more scarce than Chaos Legion, right? So I may want to get in on there sooner rather than later. Now, the only detriment, and I just mentioned it, but the only detriment is that does that devalue Chaos Legion just a little bit? In the same way that Untamed was not devalued, right? Untamed was so scarce compared to Chaos Legion. Would they want to do that to Chaos Legion in relation to Rebellion, right? You want these assets to be much more limited. You want them to be, you want the game to scale up with the player base over time. which is why I keep going back towards my 15 million, right? Now, they could still do 15 million for Rebellion, and maybe we end up burning more in the fatigue rounds with Rebellion than we do with, burn less with Rebellion in the fatigue rounds than with Chaos Legion. And ultimately, there end up being more Chaos Legion packs still. But again, there's no right answer here. I'm not trying to like tell you which way to go. I'm just trying to give you the data based on what the player base is right now, what the player base was back then, and what we do know. The fact that there's bots, the fact that there are, we're in a bear market. A lot of things have changed. So I don't know what will happen, but I will say this, and this is just my opinion. I don't think that they should print any less than 10 million packs. 10 million, maybe 12 million is a sweet spot. But I still maintain that I think 15 million is an acceptable number. And if they end up burning more Rebellion packs, which means that it becomes scarcer over time than something like Chaos Legion through the fatigue rounds, then that's fine. I mean, that's just where the market is at. So again, I think my minimum would be 10 million. If they did less than 10 million, that again, it might do exactly the opposite of what I'm thinking, where it just creates this massive FOMO of like, oh my gosh, all the OGs in the game really want to have as many max decks as possible. Who knows what could happen? But I flip this question to you guys now. What do you think it should be? Where should the number be drawn at? What are the metrics that maybe we should be looking at? What are some of the factors that I'm not considering? Bear market, bull market, bots, where the game is heading, new features that are coming in, land, all that. I know I didn't even talk about land, but again, cards are an inflationary asset, so there will always be a ton of cards coming, whether it's reward cards, whether it's mini sets, core sets. Like, I'm not worried, and I think land is a long play anyway, so I'm not worried about us having enough cards in the short, medium, or even long term. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.